Yes, this is Stephen Morant, CEO and founder of Legacy Builders. And today I want to talk to you about leadership. Most people feel that leaders are born and they're not made. Well, that's not necessarily true. There's a great guy that once told me, a great man that once told me, I think his name was Donald Bradley of YTB, told me once, in order to be a great leader, you first have to become a great follower of a great leader. And some people might disagree with that. Nah, that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. I ain't following nobody to be no leader. But guess what? When we all start out in life, we have to follow somebody. Somebody is leading in our lives at some point before we can go out there and become leaders ourselves. I think leaders are born, but I also believe leaders are also developed. Because sometimes you can't just go out there leading people and you don't know how to lead and you don't know what you're doing. How the way you make an impact on this world is not how many leaders, it's not how many people can lead, it's how many leaders you can develop. And if you're not developing leadership, then you're not really a leader that moves people. The great leaders move other people. They train other leaders to be great leaders. Elijah Muhammad was the leader of the Nation of Islam. Guess who he was training? You might know him as Malcolm X. He trained, even though Malcolm X became a great follower of the Elijah Muhammad, but Malcolm was even a better leader than the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was. Some people may debate that, but so be it. But what made him a great leader is because he took in everything that he was learning. And another thing that he did, he also learned stuff that he wasn't even able to do. He just had a great and brilliant mind. So you can develop leadership, but the question is, are you the type of person who's going to take charge? Because leaders take charge. When you have to take charge, like for example, I'm a father of a 14-year-old. Now, if my daughter was here right now, guess what? I got to take care of my daughter, right? And that's going to require some leadership. Being a parent, you have to have leadership to be a parent. Because guess what? Your children follow you. You don't follow your children. So when you have a child, you're trying to develop them so they can be the best they can be. And they can be the best leaders they can be. But before that child can grow to be a leader, that child has to either follow his or her mother or his or her father. That's just how it goes. You can grow as a leader if you believe you can. Most people don't believe they can, because they think when you talk about being a leader, they think they got to be something great, like a activist, like a social activist, or something like the President of the United States. Those are leaders. But guess what? We need leaders in our local communities. We need leaders in the projects. I have plenty of people who are actually leaders in the projects. Coaches, basketball coaches, football coaches, baseball coaches, anybody in sports, those are leaders. Because players have to follow what the coaches are advising them to do in order for them to be successful. That's just what leaders do. That's what they do. The greatest players have coaches. They have mentors. Why does an amateur feel that they don't need mentorship? But you have professionals. You have professional. Tiger Woods got a coach. Michael Jordan had a coach. Kobe Bryant has a coach. LeBron James has a coach. Derek Jeter has a coach. As great as they are, they still have coaches. And guess what? And they still practice. Because that's what professional people do. They practice to be great. And if you want to continue to be an amateur, then you can be. But if you want to be a professional and great, take on this new leadership that I'm giving you. Take it and run with it. It's Stephen Morant, Legacy Builders, signing off.